Hey, I'm Russell D. Jones.
I'm Kevin Davies.
And we're here talking about the spoilers from Board of the Gods.
Yep, so without further ado, what do you say we get to it?
Well, we should just mention that this is our third video and it is for January 14th.
Good call.
January 14th spoilers.
Yes, all right.
Let's hit
now we can get to it. First up we have Tremocritus. He's a legendary Kraken. He costs 7, 5, and 2 blue. He is an 8/8. And he has hexproof as long as he is not attacking or blocking. Oh, as long as it is attacking or blocking, excuse me. And he can't be blocked unless all creatures the defending player controls blocks it. It goes on to say in parentheses, if any creature that character controls doesn't block this creature, it can't be blocked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Different.
He's got some unique stuff going for him, and he's also just a big old legendary Kraken, so I kind of like him.
Kraken.
If you will.
Yeah. No, beefy. Interesting. It's kind of, we've been seeing a lot of these large creatures that have come with a hefty price tag on them. I mean,
yeah,
7 for an 8/8. I mean, I guess it's mana efficient. He's got some interesting abilities.
I think you're getting what you pay for. I think it's interesting to note that he is basically immune to targeted sorcery speed removal.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big deal. Because you can only hit him during the combat phase when he's attacking or blocking. And then I also think it's interesting. So let me know what you think of this. But say like an opponent has a creature and I pacify it. Technically, that opponent has a creature that's not blocking him. It's not able to block him. But would that just make him unblockable?
Unless all creatures defending player controls blocks it.
See, that's what I think. I mean, if you have something that makes it so that something can't block him, like it doesn't say able to block him. It says.
That's an interesting question. On a cursory read, I would say that looks like a possible way to make him unblockable.
It's a pretty easy way to
not
do it.
Not having a judge in the room.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait. They'll release that rules FAQ when the full spoiler comes out, and I'm sure that'll be a topic on there. But
yeah, that's an interesting note.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that. All right, enough of him. What do you say we move on?
Yeah, let's talk about the Fanatic of Zenos. He is a 3/3 Centaur warrior for green, red, and 1. And he has Trample and Tribute 1. If you remember, we talked about Tribute last time. Tribute is when the creature enters the battlefield, it enters with number +1 counters equal to its Tribute value. If opponent chooses to let you do that. If they don't choose to let you do that, then the secondary ability comes into play, which is when Fanatic of Zenos enters the battlefield, if Tribute cost was not paid, he gets +1/+1 in haste until the end of turn. So.
It's cool. I mean, either you get a 4/4 permanently or a 4/4 for 1 turn with haste that becomes a 3/3.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good for a uncommon.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a 3/3 with Trample for 3.
Yeah, exactly. So that's still plenty mana efficient. I mean, green has been getting 3/3s for 2 these days, but that's still definitely not a bad mana ratio.
Yeah, and for uncommon.
Yeah, especially and with his extra effects, he totally makes it worth it.
Yeah.
It's in a Gruul style deck, you'll probably run this guy.
Yeah, especially
in limited.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
So moving on to the hero
of Iroas.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of our favorite cards that has come out.
It's certain. I think it's my favorite card that's been spoiled so far. So the hero of Iroas is a human soldier. He costs 1 white, and he's a 2/2. His effects are aura spells that you cast cost 1 less to cast, and he also has a heroic ability, and that's when you cast a spell that targets this hero, he gets +1/+1 counter on him. I mean, that's a pretty standard heroic effect, but dang it, this guy is amazing for bestow. And I think we decided we'd talked it out, and bestow creatures are treated like spells, so he reduces the cost of bestowing.
That's my reading of it.
That's my interpretation. Without neither of us being a judge and us not having an official rules FAQ yet.
And being too lazy to look it up because there might be something else.
I'm sure that people more qualified than us have brought it up. But,
but it looks like it looks like a bestow creature. It says in the little rules text there that when you pay the bestow cost, the creature is an aura spell, and this would seem to work with this. And if it doesn't, that seems like a kind of a an opportunity missed, maybe. There.
Yeah, I think, yeah. It would be kind of a waste of that ability if it didn't.
Just considering they're showing up in the same block. But further with this creature, I mean, 2/2 for 2, in white, that's not bad. All your auras are better, and you can throw those auras right on him.
Yeah, and then he
cheap.
pumps himself up.
And he's going to pump himself up.
I think he's great. He's rare, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that, but I think he's perfectly comfortable at that rarity. Yeah.
Well deserved.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Moving on.
Let's move on. Very short list this evening,
today not much, but
here we go. The Flame Wreathed Phoenix. It is a 3/3 flyer for red, and 2. It has tribute 2, so it's going to come in with those 2+1/+1 counters unless the opponent would rather give it the ability to, whenever it dies, return it to its owner's hand. So, very interesting. Now, this is Mythic. Not my favorite Mythic. Not a bad card.
No, I think it's actually still a very, very strong card.
Yeah. I mean, here's your choices. You get a 5/5 flyer for 4 coming at your face, or if it dies, it's coming back to your opponent's hand.
And then you get to make that choice all over again.
And then they get to recast it. So, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to choose to, I'd rather deal with the 3/3 and make you spend the 4 mana to put it back in play. But
maybe. It all comes down to cards and what resources. If your opponent can deal with it without spending cards to remove it every once, if they just have a bigger creature than a 3/3 that flies and they can deal with it every turn, yes, they'll probably. And that's really what it comes down to with tribute, is your opponent's going to choose whatever benefits them the most. Right. And we talked a little bit about that in our previous video. But
tribute's kind of hard because it gives your opponent the power of choice.
Giving your opponent a choice is never a really favorable thing, especially the more competitive you get.
Right. But interesting to see what people do with it. I mean, it may be that hard hitter, maybe a good mid to late finisher. For some red decks.
Yeah, I think some aggressive red decks will definitely like that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So let's go. We got only one more card to cover, and of course it is one of the gods. You want to take it away?
Yeah, so we got our second of the multicolored gods of 5 in this set. We have Mogas, the god of slaughter.
Ooh.
He is a 4-cost legendary enchantment creature god. He costs 2 and then red and black. Like all gods, he's indestructible, and like the previous example of a multicolored god, it's as long as your devotion to black and red is less than 7, he's not a creature.
Correct.
But when he is a creature, he is a 7/5, which actually he has the highest attack of any of the printed gods so far. Which I guess makes sense because he's in such aggressive colors and stuff.
Right.
And
7/5
he's the god of
indestructible.
slaughter. So, and then the last thing he does, regardless of whether he's a creature or not, is at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Mogas deals 2 damage to that player unless he or she sacrifices a creature.
So he's a ticking time bomb, kind of.
He is.
Maybe he's more like a fire.
It is. Yeah, they can throw water on it every once in a while or something to go with that metaphor. I think it's interesting. In a way, he does also give your opponent the choice, although it does it's just a shitty choice that happens every turn.
It is a crappy choice.
Yes, so I'm more a fan of that, especially because it's indestructible and will just happen every turn for the rest of the game, unless your opponent has some way to deal with an indestructible enchantment god.
A few out there, but not a lot.
Definitely. I actually like him quite a bit.
He's good so far. I know that we were kind of concerned. We saw the first god, and we were not a bad ability. And then, but we were worried because when Theros was coming out, we saw the Thassa. Was it? No, I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Thassa.
It was Thassa.
The blue one.
Yeah, it was the blue one first, and that's not a bad ability. The god's going to be this good. Okay,
cool. We saw that she cost 3. She was amazing, and we were like, oh, I can't wait to see the other gods. And then, at least some of them didn't quite live up, but. So far, the 2 that we've seen seem to be roughly on the same level.
Usable.
Not bad. Yeah, absolutely.
Playable. They could see some constructed play, more than likely.
Exactly.
The other thing I wanted to note is, and we had talked about this before, is that the other thing that they've done to tone down the multicolored gods, now that we've seen a second one, is they've removed the activated ability that the major gods have.
Yeah. So they only have one ability. They have a passive ability. And then, all of the major gods in Theros had two abilities. They had a passive and an activated ability.
So, but so far the passive.
But so far their passives sort of make up for it just by being really cool by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not just like boring things like giving everything vigilance or anything. Sorry, Heliod. But these are actually interesting, cool kind of effects.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's about all I have to say about him. But
yeah, so I can't wait to see what other things are going to come out with.
The more I see, the more I'm excited to see the rest of the gods. Because they are sort of the flagship, really exciting big mythics in this set.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching. I am Russell D. Jones.
Kevin Davies.